In every industry, there's a line between truth and deception. The botanical world is no different. Plants like kratom carry real history, real healing, and real culture. But today, they're buried beneath confusion and manipulation. Inside Botanics pulls back that curtain. This series explores the hidden world behind the botanical industry, tracing how truth and transparency have become rare commodities in a marketplace built on claims of wellness. Across the industry, misinformation spreads faster than truth. Synthetic 7-hydroxymetragenine is being sold and labeled as kratom, damaging lives, poisoning trust, and misleading the public. Companies hide behind lab reports and influencer narratives, pushing something chemical while calling it natural. We're here to expose that. For us, this story is personal. We've spent years documenting the line between truth and corruption, and this is one of the clearest battles we've seen yet.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Vincent Vargas. I am the host of the Borderland podcast from Ironclad. I've been doing some investigative journalism for, 4 years now when it comes to the border and drugs and cartels. And just recently, I came across a subject that I found very fascinating that still aligns with all those areas. It's called kratom and 7-hydroxy. Or is it the same, or is it not? Either way. The further you dig into it, you start getting into some nefarious characters that are involved in the synthetic version of, I would say, an opiate that is on the market that you can find at gas stations or smoke shops near you. So this subject became so interesting that me and my partner, Jake, decided to try and film a series of what we've come across.
We connected with well-known kratom influencer Jordan Richard, and he shared with us some of his footage from Indonesia.
One big ass leaf, dude. Bugs? Did bugs eat it?
That's what this whole journey was for, right?
Halfway across the world.
Ever seen one in person like that?
No, never. I've only seen the powder. Amazing to me that there's so much controversy. Like, some people say this leaf saved their life, and other people say it's taken lives.
That is why there's so much confusion about kratom and 7-OH in this whole industry, and why I wanted to kind of address it. First, let me explain. Kratom. Back in the day, farmers used to chew on it for a little bit of energy. At low doses, it creates a kind of an energy effect. And at higher doses, they would be used as a sedative. And so that's natural kratom as we know it. This is where it gets interesting. Kratom comes from the leaves of a tropical tree. Inside those leaves are natural compounds called alkaloids. The main one is metragenine. It's what gives kratom its natural effects. As the leaf ages, a tiny bit of metragenine turns into another compound called 7-hydroxymetragenine. These natural traces account for less than 1% of the plant's composition and have minimal effect on the body. But some people took advantage of that process. They isolated 7-hydroxymetragenine and recreated it in labs using synthetic chemicals. What they made wasn't kratom. It was a man-made opioid. This synthetic version strongly affects the brain's opioid receptors, making it highly addictive. Yet, it's being sold under the name kratom, even though it isn't kratom at all. It's a lab-made 7-hydroxymetragenine product that the plant itself could never naturally produce. These fake products mislead consumers, confuse lawmakers, and harm people. What started as a natural leaf used for energy and relief has been twisted into a synthetic drug disguised as nature. That is what's been going all over the market, and that's the confusion. People call that kratom because it's come from the same plant, but it's a synthesized version of it. Within just 2 years, the flood of concentrated 7-OH products grew into what is now estimated to be a $9 billion industry, fueled by rapid distribution, minimal oversight, and nationwide demand. An unregulated compound went from unknown to mass market.
7-hydroxymetragenine is an interesting one because a lot of companies that started with kratom have kind of evolved to making the synthetic 7-hydroxy, which now currently is in the media because the government is going to classify it as a Schedule I drug. And so now we have this interesting conversation. We have kratom companies who are making kratom that they believe is ethical, and then you have companies that are creating 7-hydroxymetragenine and what they believe is another alternative for opiates. Throughout this, we've been researching it and I guess interviewing people, and from what we have seen, it seems that 7-hydroxy is a very dangerous drug that's in the market that nefarious characters tend to help exploit those who are addicts.
From what we have found, there is very little understanding among professionals when it comes to the difference between mitragynine and 7-hydroxymitragynine. To learn more, we spoke with Matt Shota, co-founder of a respected clinical testing lab, to learn more about their experience when it comes to these substances.
My name is Matt Shota. I'm the co-founder of Beechtree Diagnostics.
Beechtree Diagnostics is a CLIA-certified, CAP-accredited clinical laboratory in Draper, Utah. They've analyzed thousands of kratom-related samples, giving them a rare data-driven view of real-world use.
We've always had a philosophy of asking our clients what the needs are. And for a minute there, kratom was the substance of choice if you wanted to not test positive on a drug test. So, and to this day, very few laboratories identify kratom. I think, and this is just my opinion, and I could be wrong, this is my understanding, is we didn't understand the difference between kratom and 7-OH. They're different.
That's correct. Kratom and 7-OH are completely different, yet most people still don't realize it, creating widespread confusion among consumers and the public alike. 7-OH is spreading across the country. Its availability in gas stations and smoke shops makes it easily accessible. Because 7-OH came into the market as just another kratom product, consumers had no idea what they were getting into. We connected with Detective John Beck from the Salt Lake City Police Department, who has raised many red flags about the 7-OH issue, ultimately pioneering the idea in Utah that 7-OH needs to be taken way more seriously than it is.
So I'm Detective John Beck. I am with the Salt Lake City Police Department's Special Investigations Division. I work in our narcotics and vice team. And so we're underneath our Special Operations Division with Salt Lake City Police Department. So what got us to 7-hydroxy was that we were following these trails of money. You know, we're looking at these guys that were the owners of smoke shops, or these guys that were selling their products to smoke shops, or there were guys that were putting gambling machines in the back stores of smoke shops, or there were guys that were running and involved in human trafficking and forcing these women to work for them and branding them with their tattoos or their brand. And then we started seeing these 7-hydroxy tablets, and they became more and more common. That we were just seeing these things on the shelves, you know, like that was obviously different than its partner kratom, or what they would claim was its partner kratom. And we were noticing that the people that were coming and buying this stuff were the same people that were buying fentanyl and heroin and hard drugs off the street, but they were coming in and they're buying this product that we had very little knowledge about. And we're like, well, why would these guys care about coming in and buying something that's like a 7-hydroxy or 7-hydroxymitragynine or pseudodoxyl? Like we looked at all these tablets and we couldn't, you know, it was hard for us to figure out why these people are using it.
CEO of Diversified Botanics, Ryan Nidell, invited us to attend his sales rep training to learn more about mitragynine and 7-OH.
There's enough studies that have come out now that at 10 milligrams of consumption of 7-hydroxy, you've triggered everything you need to become addicted. 10 milligrams, I have the studies, I will share it with you. 10 milligrams is indicative of what's required to become addicted. The way the FDA defines addiction versus habit forming, this is also important because you guys are going to face this. If a product is deemed addictive, that requires chemical intervention to stop consumption. You would need something else to be introduced to your system to stop taking a product. Kratom is not addictive. It does not require third-party intervention. There has been no study conducted that says kratom needs third-party intervention. There are studies that show 7-hydroxy is addictive. They're different.
In the training, Ryan shared a video he used to educate policymakers in Washington, D.C. to illustrate the difference between mitragynine and 7-hydroxymitragynine.
To consume 200 milligrams of 7-hydroxymitragynine, you'd only have to consume these 4 small press tabs. Something you could throw in your hand, throw in your mouth, be down in just a second. To consume the same amount, 200 milligrams of 7-hydroxymitragynine through natural sources, you'd have to consume 476 of these 15 milliliter bottles, a tremendous amount. But then even more, if you wanted to consume that same 200 milligrams of 7-hydroxymitragynine, you'd have to consume 9.5 kilograms of raw leaf powder. The conversation isn't around banning raw leaf powder or predictable extract. The conversation's around just how easy and quick it is to consume this much highly addictive, highly potent synthesized 7-hydroxymitragynine.
In reality, it's a substance that is, depending on how you look at it, depending on its concentration, is on average 17 to 47 times stronger in strength than morphine. I had a few people that were aware of this substance, and they were aware of what it is, and they were aware of its potency, and they were aware of its availability and its easy access, and it's that it comes in these forms that don't look dangerous. If parents saw it in their kid's pocket coming home from school, they probably wouldn't think that it was something bad. And the more and more and more that I studied into it, the more I had to realize that I have to do some work if I'm going to be somebody that's going to make a dent to this stuff.
Detective John Beck has worked on the largest sting operations in the state and possibly the entire country, working to educate leaders of the state of Utah on the dangers and addictiveness of 7-OH. So you have a guy like John who is spearheading 7-OH here in Utah. And then you see the rest of kind of society really lost on what's going on here. There's women, men, there's all kinds of people that are getting fooled by 7-hydroxy and they're posting on TikTok. And so you're seeing that the misconception of thinking it's kratom and all of a sudden they're buying 7-OH and receiving these free samples, how it's kind of taking their lives. Me and Jay created a kind of a PSA to kind of give people the information of it, and a few social media influencers went forward and posted it. And so our goal was to try and help educate people on like, what is this and what's happening right now in our society that people don't even realize it's right under their nose.
You'd never expect the most addictive thing in your neighborhood is sitting quietly on a gas station shelf, marketed as herbal relief.
This is really a sinister industry.
The nation's Health and Human Services Secretary sounding the alarm on a compound known as 7-OH.
This legal compound, 7-OH, is stronger than morphine.
Scientifically, by definition, it is an opioid, and yet it is sold in vape stores, in smoke shops, in convenience stores, and gas stations.
And worst of all, most people have no idea what it is. No idea that a single tablet can lead to a full-blown addiction. It's a powerful synthetic compound with no regulation and no oversight.
Look at all that 7-hydroxymitragynine. Bro, this shit is the most addicting thing I've seen come into this smoke shop.
By the time you realize how bad it is, it's already got a hold of you. 7-OH. It's not what you think, and it's everywhere.
I was someone that got tricked into thinking it was just another kratom product.
I'll just take one every now and then to boost my energy and get through the day as a mom. That ruined my fucking life.
As we were trying to find stories and create awareness about 7-OH, a well-known influencer was going undercover at the Champs Convention looking to expose the 7-OH industry. This is what he captured.
All right, so you guys know me for doing a lot of quasi-investigative journalism. And most of the things that I post online, I'm never in the field. Until now, I'm going to the Champs Convention, which if you don't know what that is, it's a giant trade show where businesses sell to other businesses vapes, CBD, marijuana, kratom, and this year, 7-hydroxy, or 7-OH. If you're asking yourself, what the fuck is that? It is more addictive than morphine. It is something that you can buy without a prescription, you can buy without ID, and they can sell it anywhere.
So to expose this industry, I obtained credentials as if I was a buyer from Utah. I went to all of the vendors and talked to them, and the things that they told me were absolutely terrifying. These are drug dealers wearing a polo shirt at a convention.
What is it? Tell me about it. So, imagine we know nothing. Yeah, so it's 7-hydroxymallogyninine. So it is a kratom leaf extract. Got it. So it hits the opiate receptors. So it's very similar to someone if they were to be taking like a perk or something like that. Taking what? Like a perk or something like that. Oh wow. We're not supposed to be saying that word too loud, but it describes the most similar. We can't say perks. They don't like that. Yeah. So it's very similar to that, and the biggest thing is it has no overdose as well. So you can take as much as you want, you'll just throw up. We're not supposed to be saying that word too loud, but it describes the most similar. We can't say perks.
The next booth we hit up was Hydroxy, and Hydroxy is very interesting because they recently received a letter from the FDA, which I'll put up on the screen. We stopped by to see if they were still up to the same things and if they had heeded any of the FDA warnings. Here's the footage we got from it. You be the judge.
Why did people pick this over just for kratom? Because I mean, we sell a lot of kratom, but like, why did people pick this over kratom?
The convenience, I think, the ease of use, and
but like over a gummy or something.
What that choose us, I think, particularly is our reputation. Yeah. We're well known in the industry for our quality product.
We don't carry any 708 right now. We're in Utah. We sell kratom right now. But
yeah, this is different from kratom.
What's the difference?
To my knowledge, the best of my knowledge is that it's stronger. It's a little bit more pure, I guess, in the sense of the word I should use. What you guys think? You told me that it's 40 times stronger than kratom.
It's 40 times stronger than kratom. Have you tried it?
I haven't even tried kratom, so I'm nervous.
I've never tried this. I've tried kratom.
I heard
It's addictive. All right. Can I get product information from you guys? Do you have a catalog of sheet, contact info?
So we just left Champs. We talked to probably 10 7-OH, 7-hydroxy companies that sold the product. And without even trying, without even asking, without even being weird about it, almost every single one of them compared it to an opiate, compared it to a Percocet, talked about people getting high, talked about addicts. They know. There was one booth, there were 2 girls in it, and I said, hey, have you used this? And they both said, hell no. It's really fucked up. It's really fucked up. They know and they do it anyway. They know and they do it anyway.
That video became Goob's fastest shared video he ever posted. Less than a week after he posted it, the FDA went public about their stance on 7-OH.
We owe it to the American people to act decisively, and that's what we're doing today, initiating a process to schedule 7-OH as an illicit substance. To share more, I'd like to welcome to the stage my good friend and colleague, the Commissioner of Food and Drugs, Dr. Marty McCary.
Thank you, Deputy Secretary O'Neill. It's great to be here. 7-OH is not just like an opioid. It does not just have opioid binding properties. 7-OH binds to the mu receptor, which means scientifically, by definition, it is an opioid. And yet it is sold in vape stores, in smoke shops, in convenience stores, and gas stations that are popping up all over the United States, and nobody knows what it is.
The FDA is clear about 7-OH, but states aren't. Some have moved to ban 7-OH, while others ban mitragynine and kratom instead. In Florida, 7-OH is getting banned, but on the other side of the country, there's a different story unfolding. In October 2025, California health authorities seized over $5 million worth of kratom and 7-OH products in statewide raids, mistakenly conflating natural kratom with its synthetic derivative, 7-hydroxymitragynine.
Just got off the phone with the California narcotics officer. We had a great conversation about kratom, and I wanted to update you guys on exactly what's going on here in California. The state of California, the health board has deemed kratom illegal. You can't sell it as a drug, obviously, you can't sell it as a supplement, and you can't sell it as a food. Department of Health has rated smoke shops, they have rated manufacturers, however, they don't really have a case. No law backing up what they're doing. So some of these smoke shops and manufacturers can actually sue the government because it's total government overreach. But what they're using as their justification is old verbiage from the Food and Drug Administration. The FDA stance on kratom has shifted dramatically. Now it's my job and other people's job to tell the FDA, hey, you need to change your website verbiage. Their website needs to match their current stance. Their website shows their old stance.
So here's the thing, I'm not sure if you guys are seeing what we're seeing, but across the nation, it's confusing. You know, the DC says 7-OH is banned, it's going to be a Schedule 1. California decides, okay, not just 7-OH, but Kratom as a whole, boom, it's gone. And so you have every state that does its own thing. We have a law enforcement officer here that's just attacking 7-OH, and then Florida completely bans 7-OH, which then changes the sales for Chance, the guy that we're interviewing, and now he's getting Kratom sales through the wazoo now. So that's kind of the craziness of this whole space.
John Ramsey of Diversified Botanics invited us to film their meeting on the FDA's stance on Kratom in California.
They don't understand the difference between 7-O and Kratom. They see 7-O is in Kratom naturally after it oxidizes. And so according to them, it's all bad until we can prove to them that it's not. I have already talked to Mac Haddow, who is the president of the American Kratom Association, as well as the attorneys from several leading brands. This is a time where competitors are all coming together because we understand that this is wrong. And so we're all working together on it. All of our attorneys, our in-house attorney, their in-house attorneys are all working in tandem to help the American Kratom Association release this product.
If Kratom's ever going to grow to the way that it should and be publicly accessed and opened, it has to be regulated. There has to be a standard. You can't have one product be super strong, gonna, you know, potentially harm someone, where another is. It has to be standard across the board.
Our focus is not on Kratom. Our focus is on 7-OH, which, according to the Journal of Medical Chemistry, is 13 times more potent than morphine. We have a history in public health of being asleep at the wheel. 30 years after cigarettes were widely used, then we started raising public health concerns. After heroin, crack, cocaine, and other street drugs became popular, about 10 years later, the medical establishment and public health community responded. 18 years after the approval of OxyContin by the FDA, we woke up to a terrible crisis that may have killed almost 1 million Americans. And then again, right afterwards, with fentanyl. We have a history of being asleep at the wheel. For the sake of our nation's children, let's not get caught flat-footed again.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
I landed here and it took me 10 minutes to find a place near your studio where I was able to find some gas station heroin.
15 milligrams of pure 7-OH. Says it's lab tested. Should we try it?
Yeah, lab tested. I don't know where the lab is. You can scan that barcode and it probably comes back to some fake certificate of analysis.
These are very strong and they're really great for chronic pain.
Following the exposure on The Sean Ryan Show, Steve Robinson has been inundated with new leads surrounding 7-OH, and that information has now landed in our hands.
I just got off the phone with Stephen Robinson. You guys might know him from the Tucker Carlson Show or Sean Ryan Show or Borderland. But he just told me that he's been given information about this subject that people in the creative industry want you to know. They want to remain anonymous, so we'll expose that information on the next episode.
We're crabby, so I was like...
When hanging up the phone with Steve Robinson, he mentioned that after the Sean Ryan Show that his company was under a massive cyber attack. So there's something about this subject that some people just don't want you to know. And we're gonna keep digging it.